Hi everyone, this is the first video of a series where I'm going to be taking you into building a whole product from scratch. And the first part of building this product is to explain you a little bit what's the idea behind, build a short pitch, and then we're going to dive into actually the code. I'm going to try to cut as little as possible. Maybe I'll cut all my hum that I always do when I speak, but all the rest will be live so that you can follow really every step, including my mistakes. So my idea for this project, I think it's going to take less than a week to build. Came from an Instagram message that I received from a friend the other day. She was basically asking me, hey Danny, I want to learn data analytics. Do you have any recommendation for courses? And you have many bootcamps, you have Udemy, you have Coursera. But bootcamps are often a bit long for someone that just wants to quickly upskill. Coursera and Udemy, they have way too many options. You're never really sure about the quality of it. You end up buying the course, but only doing 10% of it. And I know that there is a lot of independent experts that create their own course that are very good. So I bought one, for example, that's called adsmaker.guide, which is for doing Facebook ads. And it's a very good course that you can buy directly from a landing page just for that course. So I thought, okay, let's create a directory of courses that are from independent experts and that are not found on all these big platforms. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea. So let's jump right into it. If we want to do a short pitch, I always do my pitches like this. I learned it at Le Wagon Coding School when I did it. It's basically you start with a target for who need, so the need, and wish, so this is what they expect to get from it. They choose, so your business, because, and in here you're gonna be explaining all the features that your product will have. And then you can even have, this is optional, you can have unlike, which is the competition, right? Just to really show the difference. So my product is gonna be for young, active careers. And so for the target, I always tell my students that, because often I ask them, for who is this app? And the most common answer is for everyone. Of course, we want to have as many users as possible, so we want to open it for as many people as possible. The issue with that is that it's really hard to write really good copy or find assets for your app if you don't really have a person in mind, right? So what I tell them is, like, if you had to do an Instagram ad tomorrow, who would be on that ad? Is it gonna be a senior citizen on a computer? Is it gonna be young? What are they gonna be wearing? Maybe a suit, or more like startup clothes, like a cap and stuff like that. So that's why I say young, active. So we already expect. I could even go further and put like a range of age. But I think with young, active already tells me that they work. They are between 25, 35, career changers, and upskillers. So people that are active, they are not necessarily unemployed. They're already working on something and they just want to upskill or maybe make a career switch because they want to go remote. And here, that's where I'm gonna be precise in that part. Who need to learn new tech skills. I'm gonna focus only on tech for this first part. And then we have the unwish to. In here, we're really gonna explain how they want to achieve this, right? So they want to learn new tech skills, but they want to do it in a specific way. So they want to learn new tech skills and wish to learn skills that will allow them to work remote and in tech, let's say. Not the best wording, but should be fine. Then they choose, I'm going to call my directory tech remote skills. Quite straightforward, it's gonna be good for SEO. And why should they choose our app and not another one? Because we provide a comprehensive list of all the online courses for remote skills. And I even thought of adding a feature and a guide on how to find the skill that fits them. Let's say something like this. Okay? Unlike Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn courses, etc. Okay, so we're gonna go one step further. So this is my short pitch. Now let's jump into the actual code. So to start a project, I always have the same order. I'm going to write a little checklist. If you want to start Rails projects, you can follow it or make your own. So I'm going to change the color. First, I do a Rails new. In my case, I'm going to do a git clone lightning Rails because it's my boilerplate and it allows me to have already a lot of design, tailwind already implemented and stuff like that. If you're doing just a normal Rails new without the boilerplate, it's very similar to the process, just that maybe you're going to have to work a little bit more on the front end, adding device and assets management and stuff like that. But it always starts like that, Rails new. Then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing the DB schema. So you have DB schema drawers, I'll show you how it works, just to understand a bit how the database is going to look like. Then I'm going to, once I have the DB schema, I'm going to do what I call the DataBrick. We call. DataBrick is generating the models, so I'm going to do generate models. Then once I have the models, I'm going to be doing the associations, so connecting databases together. This belongs to that, and that one has many that. Then I'm going to do the validations just to make sure that I have clean data. So for example, make sure that all the fields are present when someone creates a new course. And finally, in the DataBrick, I'm going to do my seeds. And seeds is basically fake data that I'll be able to create and then play with, so that with my front end, I have something to play with. Then I do the applicative brick. And the applicative brick is basically the features. I'm going to be building several features, some index page for showing all the courses, creating new course, editing course, profile of the user. I'm not going to plan too much, I'll be building along the way. But how it works in terms of process, I always do like that, and I think most Rails developers do like that. I follow this pattern. It always starts with the routes, then controller, then controller action, B, C, D, and then the view, right? And why I always recommend to follow this order is because Rails is built in a way that the error, if you have one of these missing, the error always tells you what's the next step, right? So if I have my routes and I reload the page, it will tell me missing controller. I'll build the controller, it will tell me missing controller action, and then if I reload again, it will tell me missing view. So it's a way of always having Rails errors helping you on knowing what's the next step. Once I have this, I'm going to be iterating through all these features, and then I am going to push to production. I'm going to be doing continuous deployment, so I'm going to be pushing to production a lot. And then I'm going to be launching on Product Hunt, Unit, Reddit, and LinkedIn, probably Slack, communities, and yeah, I think that should be fine. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. Let's jump right into it. I'm gonna open my terminal. It's here. And as I said, you can do a Rails new and then name of your app. And that's going to be a very basic Rails app with the normal setup. For me, I use Lightning Rails. So this is my boilerplate. I go to the documentation and quick start. And then I'm just going to git clone this one, change the name to my tech, more like, what did I call my app? Tech remote skills? Yeah, tech remote skills. Maybe I'll do some dashes, more readable. Okay, so that's gonna clone the Lightning Rails projects and rename it into tech remote skills. Oh, I did a typo. That's okay, that's only for me. So then I navigate to the project tech remote skills. I'm here, and then the only thing I need to do, and this is quite new actually from Lightning Rails, is setup.sh, and that's going to run the setup. It's going to be removing the origin, creating a new repository. If I say yes, please create a new repository. What's the name of the repository? I'm going to do tech remote skills without typo this time. and creating the repository. Then what is your company name? So this one is important because it's going to be already pre-filling like the legal pages, cookie pages with the proper name. So tech remote skills. And then what's the company website? I'm going to have https techremoteskills.com. And now it's creating the database, changing the name of the database to the new project, creating an env file so we can have all our credentials, and we are all set. So let's have a look at how it looks just after creating it. For you, if you're using Rails new, you're going to have the normal Rails page. For me, localhost 3000. I already have a landing page with some components that I can reuse. I already have a login and stuff like that with device and our famous cat. So yeah, there is stuff that I already done, but as I said, you can use Rails new. It's just going to take you a little bit longer to build. So let's go back to our steps. I created my Rails new. Can I maybe do like a little check? So we done. Let's do a DB schema. So you have like DB schema tool. Okay, so I went to the DB schema editor from the school I work out. You have many free ones you can also find on the internet. I like this one because it's quite straightforward. And I'm gonna be saying, I'm gonna have users table. Then I'm gonna have skill courses. I'm gonna call them because courses actually might be already used by Rails. I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna call it skill courses just in case. And then I'm gonna have categories. And categories is gonna have many skill courses. And users have nothing to do with this, or actually, yes, they can create, users can create skill courses. But I feel like this wouldn't be MVP because then I have to build like the way for them to edit and manage their skill courses. So for the moment, I think I'll just do a form for them to submit a new skill course and then I'll add it to the directory. So this tells me that we might not even need users. I'll still leave the users just in case I have a premium something after, maybe like ads or something like that. For the moment, I'm not going to be connecting them because I don't want myself to force to have users in skill courses. I'm going to leave the database like this. So I'm not going to go into detail of the columns. I'm going to be building them as we go. So let's jump into it. If I show you again our real table, I have drawn my schema. Now I generate the models. So Rails G model. User is already created by Lightning Rails, but if you're on Rails new, you have to create the users. And I would recommend you to do it with device, or if you want to do the new Rails 8 way to basically build device, you can do it also. So Rails G model categories is going to be the first one. And models are always in singular, so Rails G model category, and it's going to have a category name and maybe popularity of the category. That way I can guide the user towards the most popular kind of topic that they can learn. And then maybe employment rate as an integer in case I want to also display that data. I think it could be interesting. So I'm going to create this one, and then I'm going to Rails G model the second one, which is going to be, what did we say? Skill course. Rails G model skill course, name or title of the course. Let's keep name, that way I don't get confused. Name, description as text, and then I'm going to add popularity to the course. Maybe I can get that as an integer. It's going to be maybe a rate out of 5 or something like that. URL to find the URL, and then I'm going to probably an image or something, but that I will add later with action storage. So let's create this one, then Rails DB migrate. Okay, and the next step. So I've done my schema, I've done my models. Now I'll jump into the associations. So I need to open Cursor. I use Cursor to go faster with AI. If you are learning, I would recommend to use VS Code so that you're not tempted to go down the rabbit loop of asking AI to do everything for you. But at this point, I value more speed, so I'm going to go to my first model, which is category, and just make sure that it has many, not products, but skill courses. And oh, that's a good point. No, it's okay. There is no need for a join table. Huh? Because it's true that the course could belong to many categories. But I feel let's simplify it and force the courses to be on one category. Oh, now I'm doubting. AI is recommending me to have a join table, and it actually might make sense. But yeah, it might complicate stuff, so let's leave it like this for the moment. I'm going to put dependent destroy to make sure that my database is clean. If I delete a category, its corresponding skill course will be deleted. And then I'm gonna go to the other one, category skill course. And in here, I have to make sure that it belongs to category. And it didn't create on its own, which I think is because I forgot something. Yes, I forgot to create the connection here. So let's reload a little bit, step back, Rails DB, roll back the last one. I've reverted this latest migration, and I can see that it was not there. So I'm going to delete the file. Or even better, I'm going to do a Rails D model. So it deletes everything that I've created there, and then I'm going to do a Rails G model again, so that it recreates the migration file, the model, everything. And I'm going to address here category references. And it's in singular because it belongs to one category. Okay, now let's go back and check if it worked. Boom, we have T references, perfect. So let's run the migration, Rails DB migrate. Okay, we are in. So now category has many courses, and if I go to skill course, it should have belongs to category. Never, never, never put a dependent destroy here. I had a developer that worked with me that did it one time, and we destroyed all the customers' database by mistake because it started deleting upwards. So never do that, very dangerous. Okay, so we have that. Next step in our little list is the validations. So let's jump into that. Skill courses, validate snap present true, description present true, popularity, no need for present true, but the URL I do need it. So I'm gonna keep like that. I could do a regex, thanks AI, just to make sure that it includes HTTP or HTTPS. And then we jump to category, and then we're just gonna have a validate names present true, and all the rest, no need for validation. And that should be good. We are good for these two parts. Let's add our little boom, boom, and then I'm gonna do the seeds. So seeds, boom, and again, seed is an excellent use for AI. There's not much learning on creating seeds at the moment, so I'm gonna be doing kind of this. AI is very smart on this one. So boom, it's creating like 5 Ruby on Rails with description, popularity, URL, and category ID, which is gonna be the first one. I'm not really a fan of using IDs, so instead I'm gonna ask it to assign a variable. So programming, then it's gonna create all the others, and in here, I'm gonna be doing programming. You see, AI is not always the best. I think it's better code to do category and then the variable. So we're assigning the whole instance of category. Boom and boom. Okay. I mean, I created 3 times the same thing. So now I can go here and say change the skill course topic for every instance. That's going to give me a little bit more complete seat, let's say. Okay, and they're all programming, but that's okay. So we can do a puts at the end just to make sure that it worked. Boom, 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 and I'm going to count. Okay, Rails DB seed. And we got 5 skill courses and 5 categories. Perfect. And that would conclude the first part of creating our app. We have the DataBrick ready. And in the next video, we're going to be jumping into actually creating the features. And I'm going to start with the homepage, because that's where the user, that's the first thing that the user sees. And if I have it finished in time, I can even start sharing it and collecting maybe emails in a waiting list or something like that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.